Now at this point, we're not actually going to change any of these table options. There's a lot of great options, but it's kind of a manual process. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK and show you a more automated way to do this. Specifically, we're going to create cell and table styles, which is a new feature in InDesign CS3 that will make it easier to style the content in these tables, to make changes, and to share consistent table designs between multiple designers and multiple InDesign documents. Now we're going to use the new table and cell styles features in formatting this table, and we're going to break this table down into two logical sections. First, we're going to format the main body cells here where all of the content is. And we're also going to format these header row cells where we have the time and event labels. So let's start with these main cells first. Let's just select a couple of them as a sample, and then we'll open up the Cell Styles dialog box. So we're going to create a new cell style for these body cells. But before we do that, we're going to actually format the cells first and then capture that style. So with these cells selected, go ahead up to the table menu. We'll choose Cell Options, choose Text, and go ahead and make sure Preview's on. We might want to adjust some of these insets a little bit, making sure that the top and left are set just a little bit larger so that the text doesn't bump up all the way to the left edge. You can see what happens if that goes to 0. Not a good thing. So let's just bump those up a little bit, give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. We want to make sure that our vertical justification is set to top. And at that point, those are the only changes we're going to make. Make sure that those are locked in. And then come down here to Cell Styles and hold the Alt key on Windows or the Option key on Macintosh to create a new style. We hold that keyboard modifier so that we can instantly change the style name and adjust some other settings. So we're going to start by changing the style name to Body Cell. We can click down here through these other options, again confirming that our cell insets are correct, our justification is right. We don't want any strokes on these cells, so making sure that that's set to 0. We're not going to do any diagonal lines. But let's go back to General, because there's one other unique option that's only available when we actually create the cell style, and that is the paragraph style. So from this pull-down menu, let's choose a paragraph style that I've already created for you. So we have Schedule here for the schedule of the day, and then there's Schedule Headers. We'll use Schedule Headers for time and event at the top there before we're done. So for now, choose the paragraph style named Schedule. Go ahead and click OK. Now there's a little bit of a trick here with table styles and cell styles. You cannot instantly apply the style. So what we'll have to do is click and drag over all of these cells, make sure they're all selected, and now with a quick click, apply the body cell style. I'm just going to scroll up to the top here, and we do see that we have an overset indicator. So just like character and paragraph styles, we want to remove that override. So go ahead and come down here and click the Clear Overrides button. And now you can see the result of that cell style, including all of the insets and formatting and the paragraph style of schedule that I created for you. So now for this top row, let's create another cell style. Let's go ahead and hold the Alt key or Option key on the Mac and click Create New Style. This time, instead of Body Cell, we'll call this Header Cell. We're actually going to make a couple changes here. For the paragraph style, make sure that this is set to Schedule Headers. It will use that other paragraph style that we have created for you. Also, go under Strokes and Fills. We actually want this text to be reversed out over black, so white text on black. So we will change the cell fill color to black. Go ahead and click OK. And now select that top row and click Header Cell. And that formats that text for us, just like that. Now that didn't work out quite like I expected, right? I told you we were going to create white text on a black background, but it actually looks like we have black text on a black background, which is pretty hard to read. Looking down here in the Cell Styles panel, we have our clue. We have another override situation because that text was already formatted. So select those first two cells, come down here to Header Cell, and go ahead and either Alt-click on Windows or Option-click on the Mac, or you can click the Clear Overrides button. So just click, and that will clear the overrides, which were in this case not only the font color but also the font size. Now we see those labels here at the top of these rows just like we expect them. Now we're almost done, but before we complete the schedule, we're actually going to take cell styles and combine them into table styles. So believe it or not, we're actually going to undo all of this formatting. I know it seems tragic, but remember that we already have saved our cell style. That's the key to making this work. So go ahead and select the entire table by clicking the top left corner, and then go ahead and click None. And that will blow away all of that cell level formatting. But switch over to the Table Styles panel, and here's where it all comes together. Let's go ahead and click the New button here, pressing the Alt key on Windows, the Option key on Mac, and that will open up the new Table Style dialog box. We'll change the name of this style to Schedule Table. And here at the bottom, this is really where the magic happens. We're telling InDesign to make all of our header rows to be formatted with the header cell style. And then all of our body rows to be formatted with our body cell style. Notice that if we had more time, we could also create footer rows, left column cell styles, and right column cell styles. Just a few other changes we want to make here. The overall setup, we'll leave that alone. Row strokes, we'll leave that alone. We'll skip column strokes. We're going to tie it together with fills, because what we'll actually do is under alternating pattern, choose every other row. So now the first row is black with a 20% tint, so that's just a light gray fill, and every other row in between those has a fill of none. So those are just going to be alternating light gray and white bars. Go ahead and click OK, and make sure the table is still selected, and now we will apply that table style. So a single click does almost all of our formatting. There is one thing that we're missing here, and that is that our header rows are not using that header style. Well, we need to help InDesign along a little bit here and actually tell InDesign that those are header rows. So let's go back under Table, choose Convert Rows, and tell InDesign that that first row is a header row. And it instantly picks up that header style. So you can see here that our table is taking shape. There are just a few missing components here. We are missing some of this text formatting, and it does look like we have these cell strokes. So let's go ahead and double click the schedule table again to make sure we've got everything tidied up. And it looks like what we missed here is under body rows, make sure that that is formatted with body cell. And as soon as I make that change, because preview is on, you can see that update here in the background. And that right there is the beauty of table style. So even when, admittedly, I make a mistake, it's so easy to go back into the table style options and just make that change. And this is pretty simple. This is just a single table on a single page. But what if you had dozens of tables across a long publication? This could save you so much time. So let's click OK, make that change. And the last thing I'll mention about table styles, again, these are saving you time, ensuring consistency, and with that in mind, let's go to the panel menu. And inside the panel menu, note that we have the ability to load table styles and cell styles. So we can synchronize styles and load these styles between multiple users and multiple InDesign documents, guaranteeing consistency of our layouts.